trying to just pretend and forget that it didn't happen. I already knew that if something like this was going to happen, I already knew the cops were going to show up sooner or later. And I already started preparing myself for the worst, Ma.
What do you mean by preparing yourself for the worst?
If they send me away, Ma.
According to her, the mastermind behind the whole murder was Andre. He even picked out the colors of the clothes, and the plan was just a fight. Jaslyn clearly tried to downplay her own role and choices. But over the next half hour, the officers, and even her mother, would unintentionally learn the truth from her words, shocking them to their core. Things her 16-year-old daughter had done were far beyond what her mother could have imagined.
She probably did the stabbing. Watch. She definitely did the stabbing. Come on with these eyes, bro.
Detectives were still putting the pieces together with no clear reason to make an arrest. But Jaslyn knew what was coming. She knew there was no escape, and she had already prepared herself for the worst.
Prepare herself for the worst.
I already said I'm an accomplice, and I know this, but I'm sorry.
Come here. I can't. Come here.
The female officer at the scene can be seen briefly laughing when Smith lets out a sigh. But there's nothing funny about what's happening. A teenager has been killed, and
That shit just don't sit right with me. I hate when YouTube people do that shit, bro. That shit is so annoying, bro. She happy to see black people broken down and hurt. Like, the fuck, bitch? Now, what if that was your son or your daughter? Yo, I would be flipping out, doing the most. Like, I can't. What?
Jaslyn has just admitted her role in what happened. She's now given police a motive. Andre had found himself in the middle of a high school love triangle between DJ and his ex-girlfriend. That's when the dark thoughts started, and the plan began to take shape. A plan that would need help. Before Sunday, before any of this began, Andre had reached out to her. He told her about the planned fight and the help he needed. Now sitting in a police car beside her mother, the officer asks Jaslyn to walk them through everything, step by step, starting from that moment.
So I'd like for you to kind of tell me, step by step, on how everything occurred, you know?
Step by step.
Sunday, before he came over.
Who's here?
Andre.
Andre's from school also?
Yes. Before he ever came over, he told me on Friday, I believe it was Friday, that he had a situation that he needed to deal with, and he was wondering if I could help him out with a fight. Me knowing that I used to fight in elementary and used to be a bad kid-ish outside of school, I'd agreed because he's a good friend of mine, and like, it's just a fight. He had said he was going to be coming over at around 6. He came over at least 6:45, close to 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And he had proceeded to tell me the whole
Hey, Shawty spilling all the beans, boy. Hold on. It's getting juicy.
scenario of, we're gonna get dressed in all black. You're gonna wear clothes that you don't care about. You're gonna wear gloves. You're gonna wear do-rag. I know the whole layout of the building.
Andre already knew that Jaslyn had a reputation for fighting when she was younger. That was exactly why he chose her. He even picked out what Jaslyn should wear, telling her to wear gloves and protect her hair. Jaslyn's account helps clarify the days leading up to the murder, but one thing stands out. She repeatedly tries to downplay her role, presenting herself as someone who was merely influenced rather than involved. A claim that within minutes
she did it.
Completely undermined by a small slip she made.
We had gotten dressed, we had prepared. My mom had gotten home. We had told her that we were going to go on a walk. He was explaining to me that the person that me and him were going to fight with, the person we were going to seduce, had messed with a girl that he knew and had, essentially from what I know. And on the way there, he's telling me exactly where we're going to walk, exactly how we're going to walk, exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to wait for a signal. And
Ish.
okay, it's just a fight. It's But immediately when we got in there, we had walked over to where the stairwell was, while he was telling me to move this way to avoid a camera and to avoid things. So we had walked up the stairs while Chrissy stayed downstairs and made a call. Me and him were upstairs. He's just talking to me. We're relaxed. We're chill. And then he got a signal for Chrissy to walk downstairs. And he had a weapon with him. He told me to hold the weapon. We had gloves on at this time still. We had walked down the stairs.
Hold the weapon.
He had approached the boy, and Chrissy had moved back and walked down the stairs.
Did you know this boy or no? Okay.
When the boy tried to make a run for it after Andre approached him and was like, yeah, we have a problem. He has me standing behind. Chrissy looked at me and he made a run for it, and I'm like, okay, weapons just for intimidation. I'll put this down. I ran and I helped Andre to tackle him and put him onto the ground.
Jaslyn uses the word weapon. Even though she's detailed and specific in almost every other part of her story, she keeps this part vague. We already know DJ was found with 2 stab wounds, so whatever the weapon was, it clearly wasn't a gun. What that weapon actually was, and why Jaslyn avoided naming it, becomes clear later in the interview. And it's something that will shock you.
Bro, they finna blow me, bro. We know what it is. Just tell us, bro. Just tell us.
Andre asked for the weapon after explaining to him that he was going to kill the other boy. He had asked for the weapon, and I just handed it to him because I'm like, I don't know about this, but I'm like, okay, maybe you're joking, because me and Andre are playful. We like to mess around, and we do like play fight, and we're just very like a sibling type of relationship.
But this time, nothing felt like a joke. The weapon he used, the level of planning involved, his behavior, and the sheer intensity of the violence he unleashed all point to the same conclusion. This was a planned killing, not a spontaneous act.
He proceeded to take out a small weapon and attempt to stab. And he was failing, and I was just like, okay, I didn't see it because I'm holding his legs. So I'm in a position where I'm holding both of his legs and I'm wrapped around his under torso, and I just feel poking right here.
Jaslyn claims she didn't know Andre's full plan, but she did admit that she helped, holding DJ down even after the stabbing began. As disturbing as that is, Jaslyn never...
Okay, so my thesis was wrong, or hypothesis, whatever the fuck the shit is called. I think it's hypothesis. But mine was wrong because I thought she was gonna be the one with the stab, and honestly, she wasn't. She held him down evidently, but wow, man, that's crazy.
never stopped or showed regret during the attack, not when DJ was begging for help, not even as he was slipping in and out of consciousness after being stabbed.
And then he had another smaller weapon, and he took that out, and he stabbed him right here. Also, the boy was just like, you're gonna kill me. Just choke me out or like end it, because he kept going in and out.
DJ knew he was dying. Under the pressure and pain he was in, he begged Andre to choke him and end it quickly. Andre ignored him and stabbed him again. After that, DJ went unresponsive. He stopped struggling and tragically died at the scene. In Jaslyn's version of events, she says she was told to do what she was assigned without asking questions. As the confrontation escalated, she says she didn't fight back because she was terrified of what might happen. Throughout her account, she places nearly all the blame on Andre. That explanation mostly holds up until Jaslyn slips up. In the middle of her story, she mentions a detail that seriously undermines her claim that she didn't know this was a murder plan, and instead places her right at the center of it.
Because prior to this, he had told me that this was the first person he had ever killed.
Prior to this, he had told you that?
When we were at the house, when we were just talking about the whole plan of what to do, what was going to happen. But he never told me that he was going to kill somebody until at this time. Like, this is the first person. I leave it here. I'll ask Chrissy. Leave.
That single detail changes everything. It shows that Jaslyn knew about the murder plan long before it happened. Now her story starts to crack. It directly contradicts her earlier claim that she had no idea this was meant to be a killing. At this point, it's clear she
You're
was far more
caught.
involved in both the planning and the
fried.
decision than she had admitted. That's
She's
when the
getting
officer
life.
shifts the focus and asks about the weapon used in the attack.
I'm assuming it's a knife then that he had?
There is a knife and there is a
A longer what?
sword.
A sword. Okay.
A knife is something that can be easily concealed, but a sword isn't. Hiding something like that would be almost impossible. It's hard to believe that Jaslyn and Christy could have been around Andre all that time without noticing the sword. Now detectives finally have enough pieces to start shaping a version of events that's much closer to the truth. But before moving forward, they still needed to make sure the physical evidence matched the story.
So you saw the big sword when he first showed up here in the first place?
I didn't see it exactly. I saw that there was a bag with it, and I was like, okay. Because somebody else had taken everything out of the house behind us, and I didn't know where that was. And I believe it was either in like a jacket with him, or with Chrissy in an extra jacket or in a bag with them.
Jaslyn could tell detectives were zeroing in on one key detail. She knew about the sword before they ever left the house, and that meant she knew the plan from
Jacket.
the start.
Did she have a
She tried
jacket
to
in her
distance
hand?
herself from the house.
It looked like she got a jacket right there in her hand, or a bag. If not, Shorty got a bag. Ooh.
And that meant she knew the plan from the start. She tried to distance herself from it, saying that when they left, Andre grabbed a small knife and a larger sword, but she claimed she didn't actually see the sword at first and assumed it was already in the bag. Detectives weren't convinced. By now, there were too many gaps in her story. The teens believed they had pulled off the perfect crime. They killed someone in broad daylight in a tucked-away stairwell inside a busy apartment complex, avoided security cameras, and left no direct eyewitnesses. If the group chat messages hadn't surfaced later, they might have gotten away with it. But everything started to fall apart after the attack. They dragged DJ's body into the bushes, packed the weapons and supplies into a bag, and returned to Jaslyn's complex. There, they made a serious mistake.
Crazy.
In an open, grassy area, clearly visible from nearby apartments, they started a fire and burned the bloody clothes using gasoline. As they sat there, shaken, but still hoping they were in the clear, a security guard spotted them.
Style starts with the details. The difference between mid and next level.
Their whole thing is
Real
falling
change
into
happens.
shit.
In that moment, the cover-up ended, and he wasn't the only one watching. Another resident had seen them too and later told police exactly what she saw.
The two girls, they were just standing there, but they weren't moving much. The chubby girl, she was just like moving back and forth, but like standing in the same spot but moving a little bit. And then the guy was moving around the fire, just throwing more gasoline. I didn't see their face, but I saw their body shape. And seeing them on the photos, you could picture them, especially the chubby girl. You could feel the traumatization from them, and you could feel like they were scared, but you could also feel like they had that energy of the way of thinking like he deserved it. Like you could notice that.
I'm gonna lie, this witness is everything to them. They're gone, bro.
Security camera footage from the apartment complex backed up much of Jaslyn's story. The cameras showed the three teens dressed entirely in black as they approached the stairwell where DJ was attacked. One camera even captured DJ Grant's final moments. Another showed the teens dragging his body toward the bushes exactly as described. But as detectives reviewed everything more closely, cracks began to appear. Parts of Jaslyn's version didn't fully line up. Police seized the teens' phones and went through their messages. It didn't take long to find something that directly contradicted Jaslyn's claim that this was only meant to be a fight. One message revealed the true mindset behind the plan.
White DJ DJ Grant was killed back in October, and for months now, the 3 teens that are accused in his case have been kept in jail.
All the evidence was clear. Within days, police moved in on all 3 suspects. Jaslyn Smith, Christy Parisian, and Andre Clements were all arrested. Each of them was charged as an adult. All 3 were charged with tampering with evidence and conspiracy to commit murder. Christy and Jaslyn were each charged with second-degree murder.
Second degree.
Both eventually pleaded guilty and were sentenced to 25 years in prison, followed by an additional 10 years of probation.
So they not getting
Andre
life.
Clements,
He's
who
getting
was
life.
17 at the time, was considered the mastermind behind the crime. Who
Yeah,
delivered
he the
fatal
one.
sword strike that killed DJ. He faced the most serious charge, first-degree premeditated murder. On February 18th, 2025, Andre Clements, now 20 years old, also pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison, followed by lifetime probation.
A caring, loyal, honest person would be there for you in a second and a heartbeat.
Damn, bro. Damn. All right, man. So as you can see, the girl, she had a lot to do with it. The other girl, she seduced my boy, and that brought him to a low point, had him weak. He was around him and shit like that. And then the other dude came out of nowhere and with the killing and stabbing and shit. But hey, man, that's the end of that one. I'm out.